Hey there, second graders. Just in case you've been keeping up with our read aloud of the Chalk Box Kid, I'm going to read 2 chapters today because chapters 5 and 6 are pretty short. So chapter 5 is called Party. Gregory's second week in the new school began with a party. It was for Ivy. Remember, Ivy's the girl that looked at his pictures. Gregory asked the teacher, "Is it her birthday?" "Oh, I forgot to tell you," said Miss Perry. "You weren't here last month, so you don't know what happened." There had been an art show, she told him. The whole school took part in it. There were more than 500 pictures in the show. "And who do you think won the grand prize?" she asked. "Ivy," he said. "Yes, Ivy," said Miss Perry. "She won the blue ribbon. The art teacher and I wanted her to have a special prize. We got it yesterday and we're giving it to her today. That's what the party is about." The prize was on the teacher's desk. It was a package wrapped in gold paper. The art teacher, Miss Cartwright, came in. She made a speech about the art show. She called Ivy up to the front. "All the school is proud of you," she said, and she gave Ivy the package. Ivy held it in her hands. Then she said a strange thing. "Maybe this isn't for me." "Well, what do you mean?" asked Miss Cartwright. "I mean," Ivy said in her whispering voice, "there could be someone better." "We think you are the best," said Miss Cartwright. "What do you think Ivy might be thinking of that might be better at art?" Ivy took the package back to her seat. "Aren't you going to see what it is?" asked Miss Perry. Slowly, Ivy took off the gold paper. There was something inside that looked like a big book. But it wasn't a book. It was a leather case. Ivy opened it. She sat very still. The other girls and boys were trying to see what was in the leather case. "Do you want to pass it around?" asked Miss Cartwright. Ivy passed the case around. It came to Gregory. There were paints and brushes inside. There were pens and pencils. There was almost everything an artist could want, he thought. There's a picture of her art case. That evening, Gregory told Mother about the party. "That must have been fun," she said. "Do you like school?" "It's all right," he said. "Have you made any friends?" "Well, no," he said. "There is this Vance in my room. He doesn't like me much. He has a lot of friends, and I don't think they like me either." There's a picture of Gregory talking to his mom. "It takes a while to get used to a new school," she said. "Don't worry about it." "I don't," he said. But he did worry sometimes. He didn't seem to belong in the new school, and he wondered if he ever would. Have you ever felt like that? Just don't feel like you belong? Chapter 6, Mr. Hiller. Mr. Hiller came to room 3. He was a friend of Miss Perry's. "Mr. Hiller works in a nursery," she said. "Who knows what a nursery is?" One of the girls spoke up. "It's a room for a baby." "That is one kind of nursery," said Miss Perry. "Mr. Hiller works in another kind. He works in a plant nursery. He sells plants and seeds, and he is here to tell us about them." Mr. Hiller talked about gardens. As he talked, he drew pictures on the blackboard. He drew a bunch of lettuce with curly leaves. He drew a round head of lettuce. "You can grow both kinds," he said. He talked about radishes. "You can grow the ones that are round and red, or you can grow the long white ones." He drew a picture of each. He talked about flowers. He drew a sweet pea vine on a pole. "Next week," he said, "I'll bring some plants and seeds to school. There will be some for each of you. If you want, you can have your own gardens." That evening, Gregory told Mother about Mr. Hiller. "I'm going to have a garden," he said. "Gregory, I don't think you can," she said. "Why not?" he asked. "There's no place for one here," she said. He looked outside. There was concrete all around. He looked in the burn building. The floor there was concrete too. Here's a picture of Mr. Hiller drawing the lettuce. Mother was right. He had no place for a garden. He had wanted to plant all the things Mr. Hiller had drawn on the blackboard. The curly lettuce was what he liked best. He took a piece of chalk and drew a bunch on the wall. It was not very good. He drew another one. That one was better. He drew more bunches of curly lettuce. He drew a long row of them. They looked good in a row. What do you think? They look pretty good. That was Friday. On Monday, Mr. Hiller came back to school. He brought plants and seeds. Girls and boys chose what they wanted. Ivy chose sweet pea seeds. Gregory stayed in his seat. Miss Perry asked him, "Don't you want any?" "No, thank you," Gregory said. "I already have a garden." Does Gregory have a garden? What do you think? Put your answer in the comments below. And have a safe and warm day out there today. Thanks.